The NFL is a realm of intense competition, adrenaline-pumping action, and die-hard rivalries. But some players took things to a whole new level, becoming lightning rods for controversy and animosity. Whether it's due to their aggressive playstyle, trash-talking prowess, or off-the-field antics, these players have earned their places in the Hall of Infamy. So today we're going to go over the good, the bad, and the downright most infuriating players in the NFL. The problem with dirty players in the NFL is fans of their team might love them, but fans and players of the other 31 teams hate their guts.
The Patriots have won a lot. I give them all that credit. But I think people always feel like if you would have asked to check their underwear, you wouldn't be sure that they're clean.
Yeah. And that can definitely be said for Ndamukong Suh, who came into the league as a promising star with limitless potential, but a slew of cheap shots on the field turned the entire league against him. Suh was a future NFL star from the second he stepped on the field in Nebraska in 2005. The 6'4", 313-pound defensive lineman had the rare combination of size and quickness, and even almost won the Heisman as a defensive tackle.
I said, you know what? He's going to be the first guy to win. He's going to be the first defensive player to win the Heisman Trophy. All you got to do is just go back and look at that Big 12 championship game against Texas. If that's not the greatest defensive performance that ever been on tape, I want to see one better.
As Suh's popularity soared, the spotlight grew bigger on the Lions superstar. Evidently, it shined too bright and Suh started to lash out on the field. From kicking players in the helmet to stomping on players during scrums, Suh started committing dirty plays seemingly every game. Hell, he even kicked Matt Schaub where the sun doesn't shine after he let go of the ball one game. But what made Suh's cheap shots worse was his explanation after the fact.
I think for me, some people are going to love me, some people are going to hate me, but I'm going to continue to play at a high level, and that's where my focus is.
But he constantly blamed everyone but himself. After getting ejected for stomping on a Packers arm in 2011, Suh apologized.
I don't do bad things, and I have no intention to hurt somebody. If I want to hurt him, I'm going to hit his quarterback.
The combination of cheap shots and a lack of remorse for them made the entire NFL and its fan base turn against the once beloved Suh. Tom Brady. Tom Brady may be the greatest of all time to Patriots fans, but to everyone else, a quarterback who has won an unprecedented 7 Super Bowls, 5 Super Bowl MVP honors, and 3 NFL MVP awards is loved by many, but is despised by just as many supporters. Brady was undoubtedly a massive part of the Patriots' dominance, but he will forever be associated with the NFL's 2 significant controversies.
Deflategate.
Spygate. Deflategate. Spygate.
What loomed below the cover that we were unaware of if these were the occurrences that were discovered?
I don't believe there's an equipment manager in the NFL that would, on his own initiative, deflate a ball without the starting quarterback's approval.
I could not believe what I heard. I'm so disappointed.
And just didn't sit right with a lot of people. And even to this day, is still considered a cheater by some.
Is it fair to call the Patriots cheaters?
Yes, and liars too, I think. Or at least they cheated and lied, it seems to me.
And while perhaps it's a little unfair to levy the sins of an organization against one player, but when you become the figurehead of an organization, you take on the benefits as well as the criticism.
Even New England's head coach, Bill Belichick, shifting the spotlight onto a star QB.
Tom's personal preferences on his footballs are something that he can talk about.
Off the field, Tom Brady has made some controversial choices too. Before stating that he would resume playing, he declared his retirement following the 2021 NFL season. And people speculated if this move damaged his marriage with Giselle, with whom he had been wed to since 2009. During Brady's offseason too, they both employed divorce attorneys and ended up making their divorce public. Brady's bond with his children is also frequently called into question because he has been seen kissing them on the lips at countless events, which many people think is odd.
Too long, like romantic long.
He's laying there naked getting a massage too.
So that makes it weird?
Yeah.
Bill Romanowski. At one point, Bill Romanowski even said that he would cross any sort of line to stay above the line, meaning that this 4-time Super Bowl champion would do absolutely anything to win. And this was evident when he kicked Larry Centers in the head during a game. And while events like this loom over the players' heads for weeks, he just continued doing antics like this and would even become a weekly thing, breaking quarterbacks' jaws when going high and even fighting his own teammates at practice.
I remember when I threw a microwave oven at Dexter Carter and then jacked him up against a Coke machine, and it ripped off his gold chain and, you know, a bunch of different things. But hey, went out to practice that day, had the best practice of my life.
Were just some of the wild things that Romanowski did. And you could easily say that this next player took inspiration from Romanowski.
Vontaze Burfict.
Vontaze Burfict.
This dude did nothing but cause people to hate him while in the NFL.
Taking away guys' ability to live their life.
He could be taking away guys' careers with the way he's hitting people.
It's almost as if this dude wanted to only strike you with the crown of his helmet. He even has one of the most infamous hits in NFL history, knocking out Antonio Brown and quite possibly altering Brown's career and entire life. Striking players in the head, diving at players' knees, and even twisting Cam Newton's ankle to try and injure him were just some of the things that Burfict tried to do while playing. And now, while those former players are remembered maybe for not the best things during their careers, there's players in today's game that could possibly be even more hated. Eli Apple. Now, while a somewhat talented but not always super consistent corner since joining the NFL in 2016, has growingly become despised and hated not only by players around the league.
I can't wait to go against Eli Apple, man. I owe you, boy. I owe you. I'm here.
His own teammate at the time, Landon Collins, called out Apple to the media saying,
The two guys, DRC and Jack Rabbit, I love those two guys. They play hard. They love what they do. That first pick, I don't think he's a cancer.
And since then, the cancer has spread to 3 other franchises during his career. In New Orleans and Carolina, he was more of just a frequent flyer on the injury reserve, but while on the Bengals, had his biggest humility when he gave up the game-winning touchdown, and fans and players danced on this dude's grave. Dak Prescott. While the Dallas Cowboys are sometimes called America's team, not a lot are big fans, and one thing America can agree on is their hate for them.
She looking at y'all like y'all ain't worth a damn. Yeah. That's what that looked like. Look at him. Look at the bro. Prayers. Even the Lord said no. You're not getting your wish this time. Your prayers won't be answered. Even that's
people feel the same way about Dak also. Since he plays for the Cowboys, he gets a lot of attention, and some people think a little bit too much attention.
Dak Prescott is not that talented.
Last year, he didn't really impress anybody, and many people weren't happy about that. Most fans even enjoyed it when Prescott and the Cowboys didn't do well in the playoffs. So many people don't like him, even though some of them might not have that good of a reason. They just feel that way. Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers has quite a few fans in New York these days, but many people aren't fond of him in the NFL. Despite being an MVP 4 times, some issues have come up recently and caused some trouble. In a recent study, it was shown that Rodgers was the most negatively tweeted player in recency. Rodgers won or lost by a landslide, depending on how you look at it. He was the subject of over 200,000 negative tweets. And Rodgers did make some recent headlines through the years, whether it was being dramatic when leaving the Packers or his COVID-19 stunt.
There's heroes and villains in sports. I've been cast as the villain, especially the last few years. In this culture, this woke culture wants to be offended by everything. You just go online and find something you don't agree with. I'm offended. How could you possibly say that? I don't really care. I don't care who it's coming from or who said it.
And he even said on the McAfee show,
I didn't lie in the initial press conference. During that time, it was a very, witch hunt that was going on across the league where everybody in the media was so concerned about who was vaccinated.
Even though he has a bunch of fans, it's okay for many people to feel like he's one of those players in the NFL that they don't like that much. Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey has become famous, but in not the best way. Fans, other players, and experts have talked about how he acts both during games and when he's not on the field. The information shows that many people don't like how he acts. Ramsey has a problem with his attitude, and this has been talked about a lot during his time as a player. He's known for getting into arguments with players in the other team and says a lot of mean stuff to them. He also talks in a way that makes him seem like he's a lot better than others and just comes off completely arrogant, really.
That double move was not it, A-Rod.
In the colorful world of the NFL, players often find themselves under the spotlight for various reasons, from their on-the-field performances to their off-the-field actions, as we've seen through these players, showing that their journey of an NFL player isn't always a smooth one. These players, despite their skills and achievements, have faced criticism, disapproval, and even disdain from fans and peers. So, what are your thoughts? Do you guys agree with our list? Did we miss anybody who truly deserves a spot? Share your opinions down in the comments, and don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed this roller coaster ride of NFL controversy.